still with you for some time. I'd like to welcome you all, run through it quickly, try and run it efficiently, but quickly we can finish this meeting by keeping faculty on the areas. In fact, bear in mind that they know my son to join us. We look at it very carefully and see and make the agenda. Otherwise, somebody move that we have the agenda. Seconded? Thank you very much. So the agenda is approved. Is communication from the chair, but I'll skip that because I have a substantive. Take you to the minutes of the 12th meeting. These are draft minutes of the Uganda Wildlife Society annual meeting. And members present, there were 118 of them. There is a presentation by Professor Banaki. So that one probably is not contentious. Any corrections in minutes 2? Minute 2 was a prayer. I'm sure that it scroll down slowly so that people are able to rise there. Minute 5 was a review of the previous minutes, the 11th AGM. Minute 6, minute 7, Treasurer 11, and projection for 2012. With the new auditors, minute 8 gave us the mandate to appoint, I will introduce shortly.
Go through the presentation line by line. I would propose that we pass and approve the minutes as were sent to us.
Thank you very much. That's
the interview. I would propose we pass these minutes, but if you find someone has an issue that can be communicated to the executive committee, that we pass over. Since each one of us now knows that we receive
Okay, I think that will produce all these needs. It's a very fast document. We could, and as an environmental organization, we want to appear to be conserving trees. No? So we thought that having sent you the minutes by email, you would have read them so that when we project them, you quickly come in and tell us where you have the issue. Now, hopefully you did that, but of course someone is saying you didn't, they didn't, and so let's agree that we approve the minutes, but if anyone has an issue, please communicate with us, we shall handle it administratively. Is that fine? Agreed? Thank you very much. This is our 12th annual general meeting. You have projected it? Priscilla, I think 1, 2, 3. It's very hard to get the context. Number 1 refers to what? Okay, so it is addressing the minute that was talking about the financial predicament. All right, we shall report on where we are. Number 2, society needs to look at benefits for members.
Their members' involvement in activities and responsible activities that motivate members. In addition to of assets and members have a priority to buy them. So I think we have we did all that were required on 1 to 3.
Yeah. Some of those issues will come in our report. You see that?
Yes, the need to lobby and get many members of parliament. We have done this and we are still doing this, and members of parliament are willing to join us, but usually saying membership is a problem. You want to get the membership fees and they are like, we are out, we will come back and pass by. They are not passing by, but we are still following them up. And I think we currently have 2 members of parliament who are actually members of UWS, in addition to what we had, the members we had before.
Okay, number 4.
Yes, we have also been negotiating with UA, and the directors assured us that they are going to give us some sort of subsidy so that members of UWS can enter the national parks, not completely free of charge, but at a reduced fee. We have agreed to that, and I think the next move would be to sign some kind of binding documents with them. That's the level we're
Number 5, I think, is very clear.
Yes, we have uploaded all the corporate documents of the society. The constitution is up online, but not only the constitution, even the financial reports are online. These annual reports, any other document that members would actually want from us, they are up online.
All right. Number 6.
I think members have improved. We have been receiving some feedback, but of course not yet majority. At least I must say that we are receiving feedback from like 20% of our members. So I think that we'll still look forward for your active engagement in giving us feedback.
To remove all the energy from the executive secretary, if we could have the progress status and each action point with the kind of agreement for just simple one sheet, and we look at it and then we give the comments. Something like that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. But I think the items that have been picked as matters arising from the minutes. For the record, we need to have responses from our secretariat on the actions that have been taken against the different needs. Right? So I take your point, but actually, I think that Priscilla, in the future, when you raise the issue, like number 1, the executive committee, you then give the explanation there, so that we don't have to ask you to explain. You see what I mean?
Yes.
If the explanation were on the paper, we would simply, pass on the information to the members without asking you to talk. Yeah. So, and so I think it is important that, for the record, we actually give the progress against the minute. But I take your point. Some of these issues we are going to come back to when we are reading our report. Okay, so number 7.
Members are not paying the annual subscription. They should.
I think it would help if we knew what proportion we are.
I think about just 13. Well, I think about 13 members have so far renewed their membership for this year. But take it that we are in February. But of course, we are encouraging all of you to renew. If you could do it today, we would be very happy.
All right.
The Society Executive Committee and Secretariat undertake fundraising activities such as writing proposals. Yes, I think throughout 2012, we put a lot of efforts on this. Like 5 major proposals were written, and of these, the 5, we so far have some good information on one. We are likely to be given funding for some activities on one proposal. 3 of them we are yet to hear from the donors, and for one we go to regulate.
That is right, yeah. Number 9.
Yes, the society sent out expression of interest to monitors. I think members will receive this communication. And I think chairman of the treasurer will be reporting on progress made on this one. We recruited, or the executive committee recruited auditors. So this was 100% accomplished.
Number 10, I think we don't have to report the executive committee now exists.
Yes. Let's work with and support the 2012-2014 executive committee. Chairman, I don't know whether you tell us whether members have been working with you, but on the secretariat part, I said they have improved. Somehow, we've had some members visit us, find out what they're doing, pay their membership. Some of them come and ask for how long have we paid, and they pay for all the areas. So they have improved on our part. I don't know whether they have improved on working with you.
Emails from only 2 members in the whole year, so I don't think that's very good performance, but maybe that's because there are no issues that require the intervention of the chair. So I want to see positive.
Progress of activities to members and should include members in their activities where possible. I don't know, members will get this. How has been the communication? Between this,
around 98%.
thank you.
Any other view?
I believe maybe if it could be possible sometime in the future, but in the future, if members, the way they get the membership card, they also get based on the knowledge that not all of them can access internet and will make it full time. Problem given also the resource constraints. Much as the secretariat is resource constrained, but a few copies if it would be available for at least photocopying by members when they visit the secretariat resource center. Thank you.
Okay.
Membership subscription, you could put in some little money and we photocopy these documents and send to you. That would also help.
I think because as you subscribe, you get a card.
Yes.
You should get a constitution as well. I think that is possible. But let's not send to every correspondent because some of them are not necessarily members. Because that will be a cost on us for no benefit. Yes.
As we renew our membership or we subscribe, you can have a copy so that 5,000 or 10,000, and that can add to the daily sustainability of the office of the secretariat. I know if a member can pay membership of 20,000, can part with 10,000 or 20 to buy the constitution and some other. So that not everything is free. I mean,
is that agreed? We fix it at a minimum of 5,000. All right? I was consulting with my colleagues here. We are saying that because the constitution itself is not big, it's like 12 pages. But if we bind it, the cost goes higher. We make it, bind it like this, so that one can put it on the shelf and keep it and it lasts long. That would justify the 5,000 minimum. Is that fine? All right. I think it is also being projected. It is entitled Annual Activity Report. Let me make sure. Yes. It is entitled Chairman's Notes. Yeah. There are 2 documents. there is the chairman's notes, which is an abridged version of the annual report. So I'm going to read my report, but it really is a reflection of the annual report. We don't have to read the annual report again, because the annual report is just giving details of what I have talked about. But the Secretariat will post it on the website so that if you wish, you can read the full annual report. Let me start with the introduction of members of the executive, some of whom are seated with me here. And Mr. Newton Nsabambi is to promote wildlife and environment conservation in Uganda through one, carrying out research that informs policymakers and the public about the status of wildlife and environment in the country. Two, undertaking policy dialogues and advocacy for wildlife and environment conservation. Three, publicizing critical conservation issues as and when need arises. And the activities we are going to talk about are activities that were carried out to achieve those objectives. Summary on membership. Currently, there are 365 registered members, 120 of these being new subscribers in 2012, which means that we tried to recruit quite vigorously, and the rest are old members, of whom 20% are paid up, only 20%. And our executive secretary was saying a few minutes earlier that you please pay. Because if you do not pay, we do not understand your commitment to the society's ideals and objectives. So the message is that you please pay and subscribe, and as we have just decided, also buy the Constitution. Services offered by the Secretariat during the year were one, 8 dialogue events were hosted to discuss a variety of topics. We'll come back to these a little later. 2, electronic newsletter for issues of UWS Today were published. 3, the website was refurbished, and UWS publications and corporate documents, including the Constitution, uploaded online for online access. 4, we received guests and members who have been able to visit the Secretariat have been given hard copies of most of the publications we have. In other words, you are welcome to visit the Secretariat as and when you can. There are goodies there. 5, we are implementing 2 conservation projects. Cobweb, remind me what Cobweb is, Priscilla. Cobweb, in full. Okay, and then the second one is the Ecosystem Alliance project, which Joel was talking about. Activity 6, the Secretariat prepared for executive committee meetings, and in fact, the committee was meeting at minimum quarterly. We had more meetings, but we make sure that every quarter we meet as an executive committee. The Secretariat represented the society in meetings and dialogues convened by our partners, and the Secretariat has started a capacity building initiative under which 4 student members were hosted for 3 months for their internship, and currently 2 of our staff are volunteers, also on internship. In internship and volunteering, UWS is providing career development as a service to our members. Activity number 9, we undertook fundraising activities, principally writing proposals. You heard of the outcomes from the ES. And activity number 10, of course, is routine administration at the Secretariat. A little more about the dialogues, advocacy and networking. As indicated, 8 policy dialogue events with participants from the academia, parliamentarians, students, conservation agencies, local government politicians, technical officials, and the local communities were hosted. The issues covered were diverse, but within conservation, within the conservation theme, covering forestry, wetlands, national parks, wildlife, and oil. The immediate outcome of these dialogues is the realization of draft MOUs. Joel was talking about some of them, and bylaws on access to natural resource communities, on access to natural resources by communities, participation of communities in wise use and management of the natural resources, and community capacity building for sustainable natural resource use and management. We wish to acknowledge Ecosystem Alliance, GF, Stroke Government of Uganda, Stroke UNDP, WWF, and members' contributions for all these activities. These organizations provided the funding that went into hosting the dialogues. In addition, the Secretariat participated in over 30 policy dialogues and meetings convened by government ministries and departments, oil companies, and civil society partners. And we are saying that in these, the staff not only provided UWS's values into the discussions, but also used the opportunity to avail some of our publications as resource materials. To enhance our visibility, the Secretariat arranged for some of our public events to be aired in the national media, and about 8 of these events have been aired or were aired during the year. We have gone on to Facebook and Twitter, and documentaries of our field and public dialogue activities can be found in YouTube via our website at www.uws.or.ug, and DVD copies of the documentaries can also be reproduced for you at your cost if you are interested. On research and publications, materials made ready for publications or published in 2012 include, these are titles: Empowering Communities for Sustainable Natural Resource Use and Management, and extension. This is an extension guide. 2, Baseline Report on Natural Resource Sustainability, Threats in the Albertine Rift. 3, Unlocking Interventions for Sustainable Natural Resource Use and Management in Uganda's Albertine Oil Region, a research report. 4, Extending Protected Area Networks through Community Conservation Initiatives, Lessons Learned from Uganda. 6, Policy Brief on Natural Resource Use and Management in Uganda. And 7 are the 4 issues of UWS Today newsletter. Conservation initiatives. The society is implemented in 2012 and continues to implement 2 projects. The Cobwebs project we talked about on extending wetlands, protected areas through community conservation initiatives, and this is funded by, as we said, GF, UNDP, Government of Uganda. And under this project, we are working with communities around Lake Kachera and Nakivale in a number of activities that should lead to achievement of the following. Trees planted in the lake, Lake Kachera and Lake Nakivale wetland ecosystem buffer zone to enhance their conservation. 2, communities trained as community rangers to enable management of wildlife that come out of the protected areas into the community conservation areas. 3, communities trained and facilitated to come up with wetland wise use bylaws to govern resource harvesting and or use from the wetlands. And 4, communities trained and facilitated to establish 3 community-based tree nurseries to further the wetland boundary, marking catchment tree planting. The project is, as I said, continuing this year. The second project is that the society obtained funding from the Ecosystem Alliance to implement conservation activities in the Albertine Rift. And as Joel explained a little earlier, UWS is working in Bulisa. 2 other partners are working in Hoima and Kasese and Kamwenge. The activities involve training, promoting a range of natural resource use and management technologies among local communities, schools, and local government institutions, so that the whole, if you like, leads to less encroachment on the national park ecosystem. So far, the following have been achieved. 400 crop farmers trained in agroforestry, soil and water conservation techniques. Tree nursery establishment, tree nurseries established, and planting of some of the trees commenced. 200 fisher folk trained in appropriate fishing methods and gears. 150 pastoralists, or you call them what? Livestock farmers trained in appropriate stock management. 200 wildlife resource dependent communities trained on appropriate resource harvesting and product development. 5 awareness raising workshops conducted on the impact of oil on biodiversity, the need for communities to be involved in monitoring compliance of oil companies to set environmental standards and in determination of corporate social responsibility and other benefits that oil companies can extend to the district. 6, workshops conducted with relevant stakeholders, including Uganda Wildlife Authority, oil companies, National Forest Authority, Bulisa District, local government, and communities, and draft bylaws and MOUs to govern resource access drafted. I think these are the ones that Joel was talking about. 1,500 tree seedlings have been distributed and planted in a number of schools and households in the district. 1 central tree nursery has been established and tree seeds sown to raise 25,000 seedlings to be distributed to and planted by households in the district. The ultimate target is to have at least 500,000 trees planted by the households in the districts by the end of 2013. Very ambitious. Number 9, the society looks forward to promoting tree planting and other technologies and to demonstrate these not only among the over 10,000 households who have registered to adopt the technologies, but also in 750 hectares of privately owned land by the end of 2013. 11, in 2012, the society recruited and trained, alongside the communities, 5 civil society organizations to work with the communities as change agents, and 12, society also conducted awareness raising workshops on Uganda's RED strategies. RED is reducing emissions, help me somebody, reducing emissions from deforestation. Yeah, okay, good, you know it. So you conducted awareness raising workshops on Uganda's RED strategies for the communities and the 5 CSOs that we have trained, and we will work with these in adoption and promotion of the appropriate technologies. Institutional development and finances and assets. The Treasurer's report will elaborate on finances, but let me talk briefly about the society's financial situation as, and say that the situation has greatly improved owing to a number of measures taken. The following measures were taken, and they have had great impact on the status of the finances. 1, a full-time accountant was recruited. Christine, I think she was introduced. She's around here. 2, we have cleared most of their liabilities. We almost cleared all of them, but one just emerged from nowhere. And we are still grappling with it. But otherwise, we have cleared all the liabilities. Actually, when we started 2012, I remember we looked at this when we were recruiting Priscilla as the ES. We were owing people almost 200 million shillings. But we've gone through all those debts and innovatively cleared them, and we are not indebted to that large extent. We have only one issue which we are still dealing with, but otherwise the society is not indebted at all. 3, we have set up clear financial management systems and procedures, and our finances are being managed in a professional way. 4, we have put in place proper procurement procedures. Those of you who have worked in institutions, you know that procurement is the biggest problem. We now have clear procedures, and our procurement processes are foolproof, I would say. 5, financial records and audits are now up to date, and we will present the 2012 audited financial statement as the Treasurer will be reporting. In other words, we are up to date in terms of financial management, because once you are audited, it means that your financial status is known, because audited reports are public documents. So once we have signed the report, we will post it on the website. You can access it. Our financial statement will become a public document for you to see. That takes us from a situation where we were, I think, 5 years in arrears in terms of audit. But we during last year, we accelerated the auditing process, and so we are now up to date. 7, the society acquired a car, public address system, a tent, some seats, a video camera, computers, GPS, printers, scanners, and a photocopier, and a converter. This is the one that converts this kind of electricity to DC, which can then support computers, and a solar system for the Bulisa office. In other words, we are beginning to function as an office. You know, all those are items that a normal office should have, and we now have them. Well, as I said earlier, we do have regular executive meetings, at least quarterly, and so as your representatives, we are on top of things as far as the operations of the Secretariat are concerned. And lastly, we have started the process of updating the Society's strategic plan. Actually, I had hoped that it would be ready by now, but it isn't. But the idea is that we should really be seeing how, we move in the future. And you can only do that if you have a good strategy. And we are preparing that. We hope to consult some of you members in that process. We wish to express our gratitude to all our donors, both past and present, but more so to the present ones, who include Ecosystem Alliance. That is an alliance of IUCN Netherlands, both ends, and Wetlands International. But we also thank our donor, GF, UNDP, Government of Uganda, and any others that I may have missed. Other alliances and partnerships, we have created valuable alliances, not only with institutions that can give us money, but also with implementing partners. I'd like here to mention the 5 CSOs that we are working with in Bulisa, but I can also mention Tree Talk Uganda, IUCN Uganda Country Office, Nature Uganda, Wetlands Management Division of the Ministry, CSCO, ENR, this is a civil society network, NAPE and Afiego, we mentioned them a little earlier, and communities in Nakivale and Kachera, and of course, Bulisa. Looking ahead, I believe that the future of UWS is getting brighter, and the reasons are these. Staff numbers at the Secretariat have increased, and so we basically have a functional office. If you come to visit us, you'll find things happening there. 2, we have an executive committee that is committed. Mind you, we are volunteers, and so we really struggle to have all these meetings, but members have been coming, which is a display of strong commitment to the society. 3, we have created valuable alliances and partnerships, as I have indicated. 4, the Ecosystem Alliance project has helped us a lot to improve our image and visibility. As you heard from Joel, we can now talk about conservation with experience. 5, membership is growing. But on this note, I would like to urge all of you to renew your membership. We reported that we have 316 members. Sorry? 365. If all of you could pay the 20,000 shillings, we would be able to do a little more than we are doing at the moment. So please do renew your membership, and of course help us to recruit more. Ideally, we should target 1,000 members. You know, that's when we can, when we go to a meeting and say, we are UWS, we are representing 1,000 members, people listen to us. But when we say we are representing 60 members, 60 members is nothing, okay? So, and finally, I want to thank the Executive Secretary and staff for their hard work in 2012. They've really worked very hard. We've given them great tasks, but I'm happy to report that they have been up to it almost all the time. I want to thank my colleagues on the committee for their wise counsel and commitment, and I urge them to continue like that, particularly the Vice Chair, although he's not here. For the record, I would like you to record that I thank him for standing in for me when I have not been able to be physically present in some of these meetings, but he has also been the chair of the Science and Technical Subcommittee, which is the subcommittee that writes proposals that we submit to donors. So I thank him very much. I thank the Treasurer for her insights into the management of the finances. She was behind all these strategies for getting rid of our indebtedness. And of course, we support our donors, we applaud our donors. And lastly, I would like to thank the speakers who gave presentations not only today, but also in the previous dialogues, the dialogues that we had during 2012. You know, preparing a presentation like John Makombo has given us this afternoon is not an easy job. It takes several days. So I want to thank you and Joel, and please, for the record, also the people who gave presentations in the dialogues. And I would like to thank the two members of the society who provided feedback to me personally. I thank them very much, but also to all those who provided feedback to the Secretariat, and all of you members who have come to attend the AGM. Thank you very much. And as I said, is actually also given in detail in a detailed annual report, which will be posted on the website, and you can access it and read it, and as usual, give us feedback. That is
December 2012. During that period, we received Uganda shillings 614 million 967 and 15,000 shillings only, and the expenditure against the total income was 614 million 792 Uganda shillings, and the project, the activities for that period of time are on the final stages of completion. Empowering communities for sustainable natural resource management in the Albertine Rift. Our partner is the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, and our partners are the National Association for Professional Environmentalists and AFIEGO. For that period of time, we received 378 million. The first year project activities have been concluded. Our membership activities raised 3,493,200 Uganda shillings. From others, we also had 100 million 777 114 197. So which brings us to a total of 614 million 967. During the last financial year, during the other AGM, the society had projected that they would implement activities of 350 million Ugandan shillings. But through the fundraising initiative of the society, you realize that we're able to raise 614 million. The society has assets, as it was already indicated by the chairman, and our assets total to 178 million 284,255, and the assets are the society vehicle, computers, furniture, and the other equipment. The society has a work plan, and the work plan for 2013, for us to implement the work plan, we need to have 387 million 40,000, and the amount secured so far is 208 million 372,649. So we still have a task of fundraising to raise 178 million 667,351. I would like to thank the Secretariat and the Executive Committee members through the Science and Technical Committee for the fundraising effort. But we also call upon the members, whenever you see an opportunity where you think we can get some funding, please let the society know and see how we can write proposals to that effect. We thank the members of staff very much for the efforts they have made to steer the society forward, and the members of the society.
Are there such issues in your presentation? Of course, we saw what was got and what was spent, but what was expected and what was actually realized, or if there were any excesses in what was spent, something like that. I hope I'm clear. Thank you very much.
2012, we had budgeted that we will do, for us to accomplish the activities of that year, we needed 350 million Ugandan shillings. And as already indicated, we managed to secure 614 million 967,000. So that shows that the society actually fundraised more. And it's also an indication that here, the work plan that we have developed here is an indication of what we are going to do, but the society is likely to do more than this. Just a moment, let me try to calculate.
As he has just said. But during the year, somewhere in August, when did the ecosystem alliance come on board? Yeah, somewhere during the year, a proposal got funded. That's why we got income
that is far higher than what we had anticipated. In other words, a proposal that we had not anticipated actually came and gave us more money. That's why we have spent more than we had planned.
Accountability. We want to see whether actually these people are implementing what we are training them in. Then on the income, if you look at the income, where we have others, and we have a substantial contribution of 177 million. And we are calling it others, and it's not explained. That's a lot of money. We just call it others, then there must be an explanation. The process was long, but I'll just summarize it. The first one, most of the money, or a lot of money, was owed to the previous auditors. And this was money that was owed since about 6 years back. And for him, he was auditing and increasing the debt. So we decided to take the bull by the horns. We went to this auditor and we said, you know us very well. We are a small NGO. There is no way that we can pay you 50 million shillings. There is no way. If you expect 50 million shillings from us, forget it. So we had, we gave him, we said, this is the money we have. We have 7 million shillings. And we said, take 7 million if you like, and that's it. Or else you will never get anything from us. and fortunately it worked. Second trip, you call it a trip. We went into the law. We had a group of lawyers advisors. Apparently, according to the laws of Uganda, if somebody owes you money and that debt is held for more than 6 years, it becomes defunct. If you have not asked for it. So we had these dates. There was no record that people were asking for them. And so we invoked the law. The last one, the other dates were from former staff, people who had worked for the society and left. But when we dug into the files, because they were leaving the paper trail, we found that they actually took the money. And some of them we challenged, and in the end, they accepted that they took the money, but what is happening in this country, they didn't record properly that they are taking the money. But as I said, there is one whom we haven't sorted out the issue properly, but we hope we will. Those are the three words.
Payment starting, I think, from 250 to 5,000. So you might find of the 3.4 million shillings that we are seeing there, most of it might be coming from the 7, I think, institutions I've seen on the website, the corporate. So we might not be doing well. I'm suggesting, as we are having the Wildlife Club, as one of the members said, in secondaries and primary schools, why don't we start at the university level? I'm lecturing in the university, in natural sciences. I'm suggesting that the Uganda Wildlife Society, we introduce it as a club, at the university level, and at least we increase on the membership subscription. I was telling some of the students for today's function, and they were asking how much is the annual subscription. And I remember from the secretariat, they are saying that those ones who are called students to pay 5,000, it includes primary, secondary, and the undergraduates. And I'm suggesting at least if we turn it into an association at the university level, maybe we can push it to 10,000 per year. It might not be that big. It's just a suggestion. Thank you.
Much as you tactfully got rid of some of the dates, they may use our constitution to create us. What does your constitution say about auditors? There is nothing to do with their performance review, although they have contracts. But then the constitution is greater than the contract actually that they will be signing with you. They can refer to the constitution and they grade us based on their, if there is anything to do with based on their annual performance review or something like that, the proposed amendment is excellent. But it is there is a missing link between that's why people are bringing up, members are bringing up the issue of performance. We need to have, let them not take it as a 3-year kind of contract. Yes, it is that, but then there are provisions, even in the Constitution, which is our mega document regarding resolving conflict. Thank you very much. I would just a small statement in addition to what is that, based on their annual performance maybe with you. There's no problem. Thank you.
In the contract. And these people know you cannot put that in the, I know the concern and I feel with you, but it cannot be put in the Constitution. Then the Constitution is trying to act like a contract itself. So I think those elements will be involved with the annual in the contract. We cannot put them in the Constitution.